This video is going to be made under the assumption that nobody steals your phone, like if you lose it on the train. Especially if you do not have like let's say you own two phones and then you register both phones under a tracking app so that one phone is able to track another phone. Sometimes like people actually do this for their family members or friends' phones. But if you own two phones, you could definitely do it for like both phones. Like you could use one phone to track the other. But let's say you don't have any of these tracking devices. If somebody happens to, steal your phone, then you would have to call the police, and that would be a lot more complicated. And because of that, I will not be covering it in this video because thankfully I have never experienced it. So this video would cover what do you do when you lose your phone and you happen to lose it within a JR station. To be more specific, I'm gonna have to say JR East. Because, I lost my 4K phone and it happened at a JR East station. So obviously the procedures for other private railway operators, it's gonna be slightly different. I'm not sure if they use the same apps as the one that JR East uses. So again, this is only going to be covering JR East. And if you're confident that you actually lost it within the station's premises, or maybe at the station's exit, which is still technically counted under the station's premises, as long as it's within the station, like it's not far away from the station. And the other assumption is that your phone did not get stolen by another passenger. But honestly, you wouldn't know. But you still have to try and hope for the best. But again, this is the assumption. So I'm just going to draw a very simple diagram. There is a platform. This is the train platform, and then this is where the trains are at. And then this is the concourse level. So this one, it will be called Homu, and this one would be called Kaisatsuguchi. So Homu and Kaisatsuguchi. So what happened yesterday was that I was alighting at Tsudanuma Station. I needed to go to have my dinner and then transfer to Keisei Line, Keisei Matsudo Line. I'm sorry. So as I left the train, I was like checking my belongings and I realized, oh crap, I left my phone inside the train. And the train doors had already closed and the train had already departed. So there was like nothing I could do. But thankfully, that train is actually a Tokyo Domari, like Tokyo bound train, and not a Kurihama bound train. If it somehow was a Kurihama bound train, then I would have to go all the way to either Kurihama or Zushi, depending on whether your phone was lost at the additional 4 cars or the 11 car section, because they would split off at Zushi, and then basically not all 15 cars would proceed to Kurihama station. So if it were a Kurihama bound train, then your belongings would probably, assuming nobody touches it just like people just leave it there until the station attendant at the terminal station goes to collect it, assuming that it would end up at either Kurihama or Zushi, because JR Sobu Line Rapid does through service to Yokosuka Line. So yeah. But luckily, the train that I was on board was actually a Tokyo bound train, so that makes things a lot easier for me to retrieve. And I was carrying quite a lot of on hand, like I was carrying a lot of drinks. Like I wanted to get a plastic bag, but I forgot to purchase a plastic bag. I usually don't take plastic bags. when I go out to, film buses and stuff like that, I just carry my personal belongings. And I regret that decision. It was like, I forgot to tap the button to purchase to purchase a plastic bag. So I was like, I'm gonna hand carry them. And then on the train, I was like busy doing my homework on my phone. And then I forgot my other phone. Like I took both phones out of my pockets. Me being a dumbass, I left one of my phones, my 4K phone on the top of the chair, the seat. And yeah, that's how my phone got lost. So I started panicking a little bit. I was like, okay, remain calm, remain calm. So I went up to Kaisatsuguchi, and then there is this thing, there is a Madoguchi. So again, this is different from Midori no Madoguchi. You like loosely translate it to green window. So, but it's not that one. The one that is like at the fare gate area. Because for manned stations, right, at the fare gates, you would at least see a station office, like, near the fare gates. Usually where people go to settle their fare payment if their tickets get rejected or if they need to top up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The fare gate would be located, the station office would be located near the fare gate. It's not the one outside the station. It's not the Midori no Madoguchi, but it's the one that is at the platform. So yeah. I went there, I told them what happened, and then they directed me to the Wasuremono Tori Atsukai Jo, which basically means lost and found. I'm just gonna write it. Wasuremono Tori Atsukai. I forgot what it says, but it's Jo. Tori Atsukai Jo. But sometimes they don't show this hiragana, they don't show this hiragana as well. But yeah. They directed me down there, and then I told them what happened. They tried to contact the other station so that the staff, they could send a staff member to intercept the train and retrieve my phone. But unfortunately, a lot of the stations, the station staff, they were either not present or like the station office. I mean, not necessarily this station office, but either lost and found or other station offices in general, they were busy and none of them could attend to me. So basically, at the lost and found office, which in this case is near the platform, usually the lost and found section would be at the platform itself as opposed to outside the fare gates. It's usually inside the fare gates. So yeah, usually when you go down there, they would ask you some basic questions like, what item did you lose, and then what time, what train did you take, and which car was it in, like basically what line, what destination, which direction, and yeah, all these sorts of things. But if they're not able to get somebody else to intercept your belongings, what they would do is they would then give this sheet of paper to you. And yes, after I use the app, right, because my name is in English, usually they respond in Japanese, but because my name is in English, they responded in English. So yeah. As in identification wise, my name is in English, like as reflected from my gakuseisho and stuff like that. So when they are unable to get somebody to intercept, they would give you this slip of paper, and they even tell you that, like, for this one, owasuremono annai, they would direct you to this number, but unfortunately, they even admitted that when you call this number, right, usually they wouldn't pick up because they're busy. So instead, they actually direct you to download this app instead. So for this app, you need your email address for this. The reason why this is in English is because my desktop settings are by default in English. Even though, yeah, like inside, I mean, Okay, so the app, they would require your email address, and then they would have like, I think 5 pages, and then you just key in the details of what you lost, and like when you lost it, where you lost it, and then the possible places where you would lose, where you think you might have lost it. And yeah, the one reason why I like this app and I think it's trustworthy, it's the fact that like once you key in a brief description of where you think, I think it's at like page 3 or 4 or something. Once you key in a rough description of where you might have lost your phone in Japanese, of course, I'm not sure how it works for English because I keyed it in Japanese. They would then show you a list of the based on whatever you typed. It's like an automatic detection. They would show you a list of places whereby it's a category. It helps you like narrow down your searches. So in the case of what I keyed in something like Narita Sen. Wait, what did I key in again? Narita Sennai, or like Sobu Kaisoku Sennai, or Shanai. Depends on where you actually lost your belongings. So it's not like a guarantee that if you do this, your item would be, there's a higher chance that your item would be found or anything. But no, it just helps like the station attendant narrow down your searches to wherever your phone might possibly be in. So from what I could remember, the last time I actually touched my 4K phone was at Narita Station, the west exit, Nishiguchi. So I keyed in Nishiguchi no Mawari, which means like the bus bay, bus terminal that's like nearby. It could be there, or it could be anywhere along, anywhere inside Narita Station or Sobu Kaisoku-sen. So that's where I keyed it in. I didn't key in Tsudanuma because I was very sure that my phone did not get lost at Tsudanuma Station. It got lost inside the train. Because when I alighted, my phone wasn't with me. So I didn't key that in. I just said that like my phone is inside Sobu Kaisoku-sen no Shanai. I didn't say Tsudanuma, I just said inside the train because I was very sure that it did not get lost at Tsudanuma Station. So once you keyed in like the description of your item, and then when or where you lose it, they would either call you, but usually they won't really call you. They would email you instead. So once you go to the app, you have to keep checking the app to see if your item was found or not. So you log in to the app, right? They would tell you that your item has been found or what, and then you have to go to your email and then authenticate. But for me, I pressed way too many times, so I got 3 messages, but you're only supposed to get 1. So check your email, because usually they would send you an email. And this app allows you to see, here's the thing, like this is the lost item annai that I toyawase annai that I submitted, and basically this is what I've gotten. So obviously you can see some errors in translation because either my desktop translated it or they actually typed in English. I have no idea. But yeah, that's the reason why I say even though I typed in Japanese, somehow it came back in English. But whatever, I'm a native speaker in English. I'm an English native speaker, so yeah. I know I'm regressing lately, but like still. So we have found an item that closely matches the description you provided. This is merely a list of items that may potentially be I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean, but when you come to retrieve your lost item, our staff would need to re-examine the item and the characteristics as well, so we appreciate your cooperation. And then lost and found information, this would be our ID, and then pickup location and period, JR East Tokyo Station lost and found office, Nihonbashi East Side. And I love this because you know how JR East actually romanizes Kaihin Makuhari with an M and Nihon Bashi with an M as well, but apparently this one they didn't use the M. I mean, this one is the correct one, but officially they somehow romanize it as an M. It's not important in this case, but I'm just telling you this is Nihonbashi. In case people are like, isn't it spelled like Nihom? No, both are correct. You just need a... Oh, it's JR East Nihonbashi, so it's the one near Tokyo. But again, this just means the exit. It is this station. This is just the exit. Nihonbashi station exit side, and then they say outside the ticket gates, which is 改札口の外。内ではなくて、外。And reception hours, yeah, I could go anywhere between 8:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. and I'm gonna have my lunch and then I'm gonna go retrieve my item. And then they give you a deadline, which is it 4 or 5 days to retrieve. So you see, it's 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. So they would say from the time where your item was found to, is it 4 or 5 days later, 8 p.m. 23, 24, 25, 26. 4 days. So yeah, 8 p.m. So yeah, I'm gonna go collect it. And once again, thankfully nobody touched my phone. And it was a Tokyo-bound train. It wasn't a Kurihama or a Zushi-bound train. That would have been more complicated. Because the thing is, when they retrieve your item, they would actually store your item at the station in which they retrieved it. They wouldn't pass it over to some other station. It's just based on their standard operating procedures. Like, whichever station the staff found the item at, it would be transferred to the lost and found office of the very same station. And keep in mind that this only applies to stations that are manned, because if they're not manned, nobody is gonna pick up your item. There's no staff. So yeah, you just need to take note of which stations are manned, which stations are not manned. But if you're just traveling within Tokyo metropolitan area, usually I think 99% of the stations are manned. So yeah, with a few exceptions. I don't know if like Umi Shibaura is manned or not, but again, that one's another issue, but I'm just quoting the very few exceptions. I mean, Umi Shibaura should be manned, right? Because there's security there and stuff like that. Because it's in private grounds. It's not a publicly accessible area beyond the fare gate. So, yeah, just putting it out there. Items that are difficult to store, such as food, may be discarded even before the expiration date. Items that have passed their collection deadline will be transferred to the relevant station or police station. Even within reception hours, staff may be temporarily unavailable to assist you due to assisting other customers, so you have to wait in line. Transportation costs for retrieving lost items will be borne by the customers, so I have to pay money to... I mean, it's my fault that I lost my belongings anyway, so they're just putting it out there. In addition, please be aware that before handing over your lost items, we may ask you for details about when you lost them, such as the time of use and the status of the train you used, as a form of confirmation, as well as... Okay, grammatically this is not correct, but as well as asking you to check if there are any matching items, for example, one glove, and to check if any communication devices are working. Items to bring when picking your order. If the person in question comes to visit, identity verification documents to prove my name, basically. Official identification documents, driver's license, health insurance eligibility certificate. My number card. Student ID is also fine, and employee ID is also fine as well, etc. When the representative visits, this is if somebody's collecting your item on your behalf. Power of attorney, original. The format is flexible, but the person's handwritten signature is required. Identification documents of the representative, original official documents, etc. And then for further details regarding proxy pickup, please also refer to JRE's frequently asked questions below. Thank you. We look forward to receiving it. Again, the English is a bit, but whatever. Thank you for using Find. Based on your consent, we will provide your personal information, name, telephone number to JR East for purposes such as returning lost items. You can express gratitude to the person who found the animal or the facility by clicking here, but I think you guys know what it means. And then they also sent another message because this is a phone. Also, since we need to check the items, please bring a mobile charger with you when you come to the station. We apologize for the inconvenience, but thank you for cooperation. This one is specific because I lost my phone. So this is usually how it goes. Assuming nobody steals your item and yeah, and you actually lost it inside the train. If you lost it inside the station, then it's a lot easier, but if you lose it inside the train, then usually the item would be stored at the train that you took, its terminating point. Because at the terminating point, there would be staff to walk around the train to check if there are any like lost and found items. Or maybe my train was specifically a kaiso desha, so they actually inspected all the train cars for any lost belongings. If it was a turnaround train, I think it would have been a little bit more difficult. But I think maybe my train was a kaiso desha. My train was like, it arrived to Tsudanuma at 8:01 p.m. and it was heading towards Tokyo. It was Sobu Line Rapid. Maybe it was returning to Kichicho Depot. Who knows? So yeah. So once again, if you have like similar experiences, I will... Oh my gosh. Why is my phone not detecting anything? Okay. I will put this up here for anybody who needs it. Bye.